G'day guys, welcome back to Project Fast. I'm Lachlan.
And I'm Kurt, and today we're going to be continuing on with our Magna.
Alright, so today we're going to be sanding down the engine bay, painting the engine bay, and we've got our donor car ready, and hopefully we'll see how we go with installing or removing the old engine. So I'm going to be doing first off a bit of body work. Kurt's going to be sanding down the engine bay, getting it ready for paint. So
let's get to it.
Let's do it. Cheers.
Rightio, so this is our engine bay that you've probably seen before, and we're going to be going through. We just cleaned it all out of all the dirt and schmutz and crap that's been in there, and we're going to do some taping up of those VIN tags and everything. We're going to sand it back with some 120. Lachlan's going to fix this dent here from pulling the old engine out, and yeah, it's going to be the start of it. Probably talk about what paints and stuff we're using, eh? Sure, he says. Sure. Sure. Oh. Bang. Alright, so we've just been working on the engine bay a little bit, sanding it all back with some 120 grit sandpaper. Basically just taking up all the old paint back to really dull paint or even bare metal in some spots to get ready for the new paint. And when you come back with that, you want to go through and do what's called a primer filler, or a primer, most people just call it. In this case, we're just using some Septone primer filler. I don't know how good that is to see, but surface primer. It's probably not great if you're going for a professional style paint job, but we're not, so we're just doing a little bit of a cheap home job for the engine bay, considering it's not really going to look too pretty anyway. It is a Magna after all. So yeah, this is Septone stuff. We got some, where is it? We got some Duplicolor, just standard old gloss black, I think it is, isn't it, Lachlan?
Yeah, gloss black. Yep,
some gloss black. That's what our engine bay color is gonna be. And yeah, we're just gonna continue on sanding in spots and then primering pretty much straight afterwards, because our weather's not looking too great. We think it's gonna rain, so we're just trying to get it covered before it rains on bare metal and starts to rust again. Yeah. So yeah.
Sorry, camera, we're gonna have to move you. We're towing the car up, so we're going to have to move you.
Rightio. So in our spare time, well, in Lachlan's spare time, because I've been busy, we've gone through and we've polished up our front barb, which is strangely made out of aluminium, which is apparently a thing with Magna's
Varietals. The upper class ones have a alloy.
Front Rio bar.
Crash bar. Mm-hmm. That one there will have a plastic. I think they're a styrofoam crash bar.
Yeah.
Oh, that or just your plain metal ones, whatever.
It's our parts bar.
Yeah.
So you last would have saw us all sanding out the engine bay and preparing it and stuff like that. So this is what we've ended up coming to. Got all the front looking schmicky dick, and all this looking rather nice. Didn't get any runs that I know of that I can find.
No runs, mate.
It's all pretty good. It's not very shiny, but it looks the job. It's just an engine bay after all. We've left all the back of it undone because you really can't see any of that once the engine goes back in. Our tags and that look nice and clean because we've taped them up and made them look good.
We taped up the VIN.
Tape up the VIN number. Not that you can really see, but you can see how shiny it is, I guess, compared to the black. But yeah, we've got all the sides of it done, and degreased all the bottom of it. Looks all nice and clean again. And our filthy extractors.
Bring over the head, cover.
And yeah, so we've got everything out of the way. Painted that up. Looks good. Looks good again. And now we're looking on to doing some engine stuff. We're gonna go through and show you guys that. We've got some pretty new tappet covers done in shiny red because everyone knows red goes fast. It'll look something like that. Matches his red hat. And
Good.
yeah, so we'll show you guys some of the engine and what we're going to do with that thing next. And rightio, so we're going to talk about our tapper cover painting a bit. It's not something usually people do. So Lachlan, how do we go about painting up a tapper cover?
So first thing you do, obviously you need to remove it, take everything out. Over here is this bit. So I basically took everything out, say all little grommets, took the oil cap off, remove this off of there, so it's on there for the
Holds the spark plug leads.
the leads on there.
Maybe your hand, we can't see it.
So I just basically stripped all the little parts off it. Makes a little bit of a difference at the end of the day with the look of things, instead of just spray painting over the top of everything. At least then it makes it look like you put a bit of effort in. So I pulled all that off, and then we got to cleaning it. So basically it's got some degreaser and a nice clean rag, and just sprayed the hell out of it and degreased it all out. Wiped it all down, and then I've got some 380 grit.
Before we go any further, what's the purpose of cleaning it, Lachlan? Why would you clean it so well?
So that when you clean it, the paint doesn't react, and you'll see bubbles in it. You'll see bubbles in your paint if you don't clean it properly. And
reacts to all the oil and grub on there.
And then after I was done with that, wet and dry, 320 grit. You don't want to go any coarser than a 320.
Did you start with 320?
Yep, straight out, just 320.
320 wet sanded?
Yep. You wet sand it so it doesn't leave scratch marks, and any coarser than a 320, and you're looking at leaving the marks in the metal or the product, and then you'll see it through the paint. So.
And what sort of paint do we use?
Because it's going on an engine, I just use your high heat. It's actually caliper paint, but high heat enamel, up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a ceramic caliper paint, so it'll last long in there with the heat of the engine in the engine bay.
You can essentially use just normal $6 paint cans from Super Cheap, can't you, Lachlan?
Oh, not really. It won't last as long.
You see, you can use it. It just won't last as long. It won't be as nice.
It'll fade.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly. You're looking at, this is good. Spend a little bit of extra money.
And how much does that can cost you all up, you reckon?
$15.
That easy, cheap as. You get a nice paint job.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys ever saw, but that was the parts car we got for our new, mainly for the engine for our Magna. But that's our parts car, so all sorts of interior bits and little fiddly screws and bits and bobs are going into our car. So yeah, so we pulled the engine out of this one.
So I was lucky enough for this one to have just had a service done.
Let's actually talk about the service. Just come and look. This is our new engine that's going in to our Magna. So what's been done to it, Lachlan? What's all the servicing done?
All right, so he's gone through. New oil filter, new oil through it.
Engine mount's been replaced.
Yeah, they all look pretty good. So
it had a new tension, a pulley in it. Didn't get it put in it, didn't it?
Yeah.
New timing pulley.
Yep.
It had a new. What is that one on the side there? Is that power steering?
This one?
No, the one on the other side.
That one, power steering there.
Yep. So it had a new power steering pulley on it. The only pulley that we really aren't happy with, it's a bit old and frailed and stuff, is the alternator pulley, which also runs the aircon condenser.
Yeah, this belt and stuff's all.
It's a bit manky, so we're going to replace that one.
So it'll get changed over. We'll do a full service on it. So we'll do spark plugs. We'll do all the leads. Then we'll go through and change everything out and make it good again. We've got some oil leaks that we need to fix up. Typical problem with these is the tapper cover gasket tends to go in them. As you can see, if you come around the front, all the oil residue and crap there, that's from this gasket in here leaking. So that's a pretty common thing for these to have. So, but anyway, we'll get that, and we'll get the engine, and we'll blast it all with the gurney and clean it all up before we put it back in, and we'll put new gaskets on it. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that video. That concludes another episode.
In our next episode, we're going to be cleaning down our engine and putting our new parts in and getting it ready to go in the car. So that's what's in store for our next episode, and hopefully we'll see you there. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, share with all your friends, leave a comment, and tell us what you're thinking of our stuff so far. We've only got a few videos out, but hopefully you're enjoying it. And yeah, see you in the next video of Project Fast.
Alright, thanks guys. Cheers.